to my YT channel. This is again, I'm a singer, eternal voice, your YouTube content creator, your social media influencer. Welcome to my science world, to my OSH world also. So for now, I will be dealing with teaching you chemical formulas, whether it is inorganic compounds and organic compounds. So basically, it's all about chemistry, but later we will be talking to related to biology, related to health science, a little bit related to medical science, but later we will discuss first the formulation so we can understand how these substances and chemicals behave inside our body, what are the particular processes to be developed inside our body, whether it is natural process, artificial process, something like that. Artificial process meaning outside the body, or external process, and we mean by internal process, it's inside the body, something like that, okay? So it's gonna be like that. So I prepared because not preparing what to talk, I prepared what to discuss because I cannot manage very well because my hand is very, very tired already. The fingertips umatublo, okay? So I need to put first and then discussion. Sometimes also I fail to emphasize the others, okay? And I miss. It's better to put, okay? You got the point, mga palaga akong hitad, na siya yung tabo. Okay, I need to discuss one by one. Please, sorry if I can be a little bit of lengthy because if I will discuss for something, I need to connect that to other theories related to sciences. Forgive me, okay? So there's a rule really, guys. No, there's no rule in the length of your video in YouTube, but there's a rule of the minimum. It should be at least 5 minutes, okay, to gain the revenues. So if you are having only less than 5 minutes, then it will not be paid by YouTube, okay, like that. So you get the point now. So it's a requirement really. So please forgive me that sometimes really not sometimes, I think most of the times, right? So I exceeded 1 hour, right? Because I'm boring sometimes and I need to share information in a virtual platform of communication, of sharing information. Okay. Now welcome to my world back once again. I'm wearing yellow-green t-shirt. Oh my gosh. And I'm very, very active today because I was alerted by the epinephrine hormone and the norepinephrine hormone. Okay, my gosh. Okay, mga palangga. Start na ta, guys, no? So, we have here listed, actually, there's a lot of chemicals. I cannot write everything here in the whiteboard because it's very small, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Actually, I have to add also the caffeine. Okay. Now, I see also other sources in the, in the internet. So usually I have different sources and I have to compile that in one information only. I will extract everything, something like that, okay? So I need to realign also with my acquired and stock knowledge. As a licensed chemical engineer, I have really to extract if it is really, what's happening here? So it's gonna be like that. Okay, now we have here caffeine. I need to introduce first the caffeine, which I discussed a while ago. So we have caffeine, tea, like that. This is a spelling, right? It looks like the spelling also is difficult, right? When we're dealing with health science, medical science, birth sciences, sometimes the spelling also are very, very difficult, especially if you are dealing with amino acids, proteins, hormones. Oh my gosh! So you can easily comprehend the exact spelling sometimes, and sometimes it will be interchanged. Really, honestly, guys, and sometimes also when I pronounce it incorrectly because very difficult to enunciate, especially these medical terms and scientific names, something like that, especially biology, right? And species, like that, a lot of scientific name. Okay, so I cannot, sorry, because I'm not also a biologist, something like that. Okay, but stay with me, tighten your belt, sit back and relax. Ganon. So pay attention mga palangga in this vlogging. So our medium of instruction for today, it's gonna be a little bit of Bislish and straight English communication. Also, in fairness to my viewers and subscribers all over the world. Okay, not only limited to Philippines and Asian countries, but also all over the world. Like that, and I'll be able to speak also Bislish with regards to my kababayans, Filipinos like that, but not really the Taglish because my Tagalog is not very, very pure. What I mean, I'm not very, very master, ano yung expert or adroit in talking about Tagalog. Okay, so I am more on the Bisaya. Okay? Okay, pure Cebuano here. Okay, so Bisda in combination of English, Bisaya plus English, so Bislish. Right? Okay, Bislish, Bisaya plus English is our specific medium of instruction today. Okay, now we go back to our discussion of different chemicals here, and I already written in the board, as you can see. It is very clear or not? Do I have to use the microphone to intensify my voice, to amplify my voice so that you can easily hear what I'm talking? Okay, but sometimes when I hold the microphone, it really disturbs me for something, especially when I do this discussion. I have a lot of gestures. So sometimes, it will bother me, but it does not become an issue, right? I'll use now. I'll use the microphone now. Hello, mga palangga kong hitan. Ano ba ang mga, nakakalok, ano ba ang mga, okay. So we have cafe. Carbon, okay. 8 atoms of carbon, 10 atoms of hydrogen. Oxygen is 4 atoms, and oxygen is 2. Okay. Take a look with the subscript. All are even numbers. So that is your one identification how to memorize. Okay, so even numbers, and note also the sequencing and the patterning of the numbers. Okay, first it's ascending, second is descending from carbon and hydrogen, ascending with a gap of 2. Okay, and the next also will be the CHNO. Okay, like that. And the gap will be 2, but descending from 4 to 2. So this is your way of memorizing. Okay, so that would be CaH10N4O2. So that you can have an idea, it's going to be like that for caffeine. Okay, so knows in a question also, calculate the molecular weight of, caffeine. Ganon. And then you will still, scan the books because you don't know what's the formula. At least you save time because you engraved and you accumulated into your brain cells already the formula of caffeine. It will help save your time, and then you can focus to the most difficult parts in the board examination or whatever because you already memorized the complete structure of the formula of the basic chemical, something like that. Okay? Actually, caffeine is not basic already. This is more on organic chemistry. Okay, but what I'm telling you, very popular daily because we drink coffee every time. Who among you will never drink tea? Tea also have a caffeine, not only limited to coffee. All kinds of teas have stimulants factors, and the stimulant there is caffeine. But it just happened caffeine was fortified more on coffee. Okay, but it doesn't mean tea have no caffeine, have also, but regulated to a certain level that is good for digestion, for the diet people, and lowers your fat content, something like that, or reduces obesity, something like that, right? Weight loss, I mean. Okay, especially the green tea. Okay, green tea is very good for the health. Okay, it develops and triggers weight loss. Especially if you combine that with proper diet and proper exercise also. So green tea will be the best. You can drink that every night, 2 hours before you sleep. Okay? You will give gulp before intaking the green tea or any kind of tea in which you think that is having the health benefits. Because I think also other teas have benefits, not only limited to the green tea. But it's very popular all over the world. It's experimental evidences carried by WHO, World Health Organizations, and CDC's control and prevention of diseases. Okay, these are the websites or the organizations that really studied all about health science or medical science all over the world. right? They said really that green tea is the most effective compared to other. There's also yellow tea, brown tea, red tea, and coffee is the least in health benefits. But at least you know also that if you love coffee, if you cannot stop it, then you will just only put brown sugar, the raw sugar, and also a little bit of sugar, or better, nothing. Okay, me, I've been doing that for almost 3 years already. I don't put sugar in the coffee. Okay, you get the point because it will aid my, weight reduction also. It also complementary to other, substances in your system if you do that. Okay, because it lowers blood pressure. The more you will not add sugar, the more it lowers your blood pressure. So if that happens, the more your blood can circulate properly in each epithelial cells as a protective lining in our blood vessels. Okay, there, it will flow properly together with the lecithin, the transporter, okay, of this, and also the low density lipoprotein. That's their job to transport. Okay, to transport the nutrients carried in the blood to its respective area of responsibility of different vital organs that really needs that kind of nutrients. Okay, it's in the bloodstream. Your bloodstream is very good. Now there will be a proper flow of your blood there. Okay, you get the point? Ganon. So literally speaking, not literally, technically speaking, if you lower your blood pressure, it will help a lot to control your, hypertension. Okay, hypertension kasi yan eh. Hypertension and hypotension. Hypertension, high blood pressure. Hypotension, low blood pressure. Okay, English. Hyper, more. Hypo, low. Okay, you get the point. So things like that. Okay, a lot also of the medical diseases involve hyper and hypo. So it will help a lot also that we have an idea that hypo is less, hyper is high. And it will just be attached to a certain disease type. For example, glycemia, hyperglycemia, hypoglycemia, like this. Okay, you got the point mga palaga kumita, no? Thyroidism is the disease in the thyroid gland due to lack of iodine or more of iodine. It depends. So you will say also hyperthyroidism, hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism. So two also. Always attach the hyper and hypo in most types of disease, but not all, but sometimes have. Okay, you got the point. Anak siya. Okay, now number one, meron siya ang caffeine. I discussed that already. Okay, lowers blood pressure and aids the control of type 2 diabetes. If you will never put sugar. Okay? Like that. Get the point. And also related to the teas, the same thing. If you will never put sugar. So I told you sugar is the deadliest substance in the planet Earth. It is very, very tempting and attractive. The more it is very attractive and tempting, more people will be stuck to it and addictive to it. Okay? So that's the time it will play too much inside your system and it will govern there. To the fact it will increase obesity, like that, overweight, and a lot of diseases will come in because some diseases are complementary with each other, especially if the attacks are the DNA. Okay, DNA with regards to the gene, the coded genetic information. If this is affected by the damage of the cells, then normally they will be interacting with each other, the diseases. Complementary. So be careful because this disease will try to react with the other disease and then it triggers another disease. Even though you control the diseases, another also will receive the bad benefits of this medicine, the side effects of this medicine. So things like this, we have to be extra careful in studying the prescriptions of the doctors. That's why I will advise you to really read the instructions and the particular pharmaceutical products could either be it's a tablet, a capsule, a syrup, or whatever in terms of powder that you have to take in. You should be, you should be expert, not really expert, you really have the eagerness to read properly the instructions, the dosage. Anyway, the doctor will tell you, but the doctor will not explain everything, right? You can see that there, the technicalities of the information of the packaging of the medicines or coming from the prescription of the doctor, something like that. Or any kind of, common medicines that doesn't need prescriptions from the doctors, right? We have also like that, especially the paracetamols, can be applied generally lang siya talaga. Then also read the instructions in the ingredients because it matters a lot. The sensitivity of the attack of different, products, ingredients, and side effects also. Okay, ganon. You should not rely completely what the doctor said. Of course, you will believe, but you should have an extension apart from that. Okay, it's gonna be like that. You should not be enough. Just like studying in a classroom instruction, you gain knowledge from your instructors, but that would not be enough. I need to still learn more. I will go to the library and expand everything there. So that in the next morning or in next week, I am advanced of the different topics that the instructor that will be able to teach, then I have already knowledge, something like that. And then the instructors will ask you, then you will volunteer yourself to answer that, and your classmates will be shocked where that information came from, something like that. But actually, you study in advance. Okay, this kind of characteristic really is, really needs for the students if they want to become certified engineers in the future. Okay, you will never be a certified engineer in the future for nothing. Okay, it should be having the culture of effective study techniques and strategies while you are still in the elementary, high school, and in college. It should be a culture, by the way. It doesn't mean that you became intelligent now in the college. It should be inherent when you are still a kid, when you grow. Because that's talking about the hormones in the brain, right? A lot of hormones in the brain that speed up memory, cognition, like that, speech, language in your cerebral vortex, in the part of your, lobes in your brain. Okay? The central nervous system. Then when you are growing up. Of course, it will go back also to your offspring, meaning hereditary traits. For example, if your mother loves to eat nutritious food that rich in memory, like that, especially eating of peanuts, increases the memory because it contains choline chemicals. It's here. 5 atoms of carbon, 14 atoms of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. So this choline really develops the brain function while the infant is still in the uterus. And the mother is always eating peanuts, drinking milk, okay, like that, and then eating liver, fish, something like that. These are the source of choline. Choline is a nutrient, okay, and it is very, very important for the development of our brain. So while you are still growing inside the uterus, something like that, and then you will come out from the vagina and you will grow up, something like that. It's expected that your genes will be a little bit of intellectual compared to others. That's through, eating lifestyle also and the genes. Okay? But that is the true effort. Lain pag itong effort. Effort means you study a lot, you do something techniques, you study a lot, but bukod na siya sa mga genes, nutrients that coming from your generations to generations, your grandfather, your grandmother, the genes are always like superior intellectually. Then you can gain that also from your first day in the planet Earth. From the day you were born up to where you are now. So genes are very, very important, especially this DNA. Okay? And choline also will synthesize the DNA properly. Okay, that promotes also the brain function to be developed properly. So not only the egg, okay, the liver, but there are also a lot of legumes family. Legumes family katong mga solid, like soybean, like that. So these are the foods rich in choline. Okay, ganon. Okay, so choline is a nutrient. Okay, so very unique. Okay, choline is a nutrient. This is not a vitamin, this is not a protein, this is not a hormone, but a nutrient, generally. So how can we say a nutrient compared to a vitamin, compared to a mineral, compared to a protein? So you study it also, because I cannot discuss everything in one session. Right? So if I talk something, if you're really interested in what I am talking to, then you can also research further. Because sometimes I may be wrong, I may be right, as I told you, I'm not a medical science professional, okay, and I'm an engineer. So meaning to say, I'm not really more on the scientific, okay, and medical, technology or whatever knowledge in that, okay. So I am more in the pure sciences in the application of engineering, okay, like the engineering meaning with math, okay, practical application with math and technology. Okay, you get the point. Not necessarily going to the deeper, okay, theoretical aspects. Ganon. So we have reached a thing like that, right? Number two, we have inositol. Sir Sotero, isa naman ang inositol. Uy, in fairness, what is inositol? Okay, by the way, guys, the colon is also called vitamin B8, but that is only component, not the main characteristic. Because we have vitamin A, vitamin B, up to vitamin E, right? But the subcomponents is very difficult already to recognize. For example, vitamin B1, thiamine, like that. Okay, there's a lot. Folic acid is a vitamin, not an acid. So things like this are, oh my gosh, uronic acid is not only an acid. Sometimes it can act as a carbohydrates, can act also as a fat, can act also as a protein. Based on my research in my entire career of being a chemical engineer and also a safety professional, this is the only substance that can really penetrate to the other types of macromolecules. Uronic acid. It looks like an acid, but it can act of the four behavior of biomolecules or macromolecules. Sometimes it can act as a carbohydrate. It can act also as a sugar. It can act also as fat. It can act also protein. Imagine uronic acid have that properties. Oh, really? And try to research that also. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, uronic acid. URONIC. It looks like an acid, physically, because it can also act as an acid, but multiple functions. Okay? Who knows, it will come out also in the examination. Blank is the only substance in the planet Earth that can act any types of biomolecules. So your answer will be uronic acid. But you should also double check. Okay? Because I'm not really that very sure of the highly technical theories. As I told you, we are more, I'm an engineer, okay? So I'm not more on theories deeply. Okay, we are mixed with math, engineering applications and technology. So, we are not focusing into the deep theories. This is only my initiative to study very deep. But if you try to study chemical engineering, any courses that have engineering, it's not really focusing on the theoretical aspects. It's studying on the application of the technology, data, statistics, math, something like that, to the theories they acquired. Okay, like that, and they validate that through applications, and then so that we can have knowledge to solve complex problems with regards to the process, something like that. Okay, this is the rule of engineering. And not sometimes, we can also design. Okay, because all engineering can design. It depends on the discipline they are studying. If you are mechanical engineers, then you can design a machine, something like that, or equipment. If you are chemical engineers, you can also design a nuclear reactor for the chemical processes inside that nuclear reactor. So design, so more like that. So our math is very rigid. To advanced engineering mathematics, in which, it's very, really difficult. A combination of all mathematics. Okay, like that. So if there are really related to especially solving, statistics, survey results, so alam na alam yun sa mga engineers, okay? They are not just very vocal to say it in social media, but they know it because they try to evade from quarreling. Okay, they want to live their lives peacefully, but actually they know it. Okay, what's the impact of survey results to the actual scenario during the election? Okay, that's under probability and statistics. Okay, so we study a lot for that also in our engineering subjects before. All engineering students or engineering, it's up also to the students who did not put their heart seriously to their subject matter or to their course they take. But if you really love your discipline and your course, then you have to study by heart and seriously so that you can understand. Okay, and you can learn that and apply to the real world when you are working. So you should convert into actions what you learned from the classroom instruction. Okay? Because the reality is there already. Okay, it's not enough memorize like that, but you have to put into actions what you've learned inside the classroom instruction to different types of subjects you really gain in different subjects you take, right, in your course. Not only for engineering, for other also, generally. Okay, not only for the purpose of passing the grades, but the purpose you can really apply that to your day-to-day life. First, second, you can apply that to the reality in your real world of being an engineer, of being a psychologist, of being a doctor, of being a medical technologist, of being a pharmacist, like that, or being a teacher, something like that. That's the most important part. Okay, application. Okay, it doesn't matter how how knowledgeable you are, but you don't put into practice and you don't put into action, that becomes useless. Okay, and another also rewarding for that, not only applying, the third rewarding is you can also share information to other people. For example, like this, to the younger generation, so that you can transmit your knowledge to them also when they grow up. Since a saying that called, our children is the future for the better future. The children is our future of our country. Then since you are now adult and you think that you can also share information coming from your brain cells and you have also knowledge, you can share it to the younger generations. At least you can help them. Okay? And be innovative with respect to technology like that. Okay, science, health, or whatever masterpiece you have right now. That would be the third important rewarding purpose. That's why we have a course in college. First, apply it in a day-to-day life. Second, apply it in the reality of the world during working. And this is the target majority of all students all over the world. They will use that when they work in the actual. Number three, it would be rewarding if you share your knowledge to anybody else that needs it the most. Something like that for free. Okay, three, right? And that's the general statement of education. It's not just only a piece of a paper, then you have to apply that and put and convert into actions. Okay, now going back to the choline finish, right? Okay, what is the function of a choline? Okay, the choline really function is for regulating the hormones with respect to memory, okay, like that, intelligence and mood. Wow, very important talaga ang choline. Yes, really guys. That's why choline, guys, will be there if the fetus, the infant is still in the ovary. That's why the woman is advised to take the right food when they are still in the uterus, because this matters a lot when they grow up. The genes they carry when they grow up. Okay? Like that. Especially the eggs. Okay? The egg yolk have too much choline there. Because the lecithin will be converted to choline due to chemical reactions, and it will produce acetylcholine, a nutrient. Okay? And then this will also synthesize to DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and bottom, it will develop your brain functions. Okay, that's why memory, right? Intelligence. So if you have the mood, then you study a lot. That's why it's also regulate the mood. Right? I'm in the mood now of discussing something. If I don't have the mood, then I cannot do the vlogging. Even though I have the memory, I have the intelligence. So this kind of hormone is very, very important for the mood. And what type of chemical messenger that regulates the mood? Okay, this is serotonin neurotransmitter hormone. So this serotonin signals us to have good mood, bad mood, mood swings. Okay, like that. For example, I don't like to do procedure right now. Like for example, if you're working to a certain company that your job really wants you to create and conceptualize procedure, something like that. I don't want to do that. Your mood changes. So that means your serotonin hormone, right, is not really that adequate. Okay, ganon. Okay, so that's gonna be like that for the color. The color formula is 5 atoms of carbon, okay, 4 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of nitrogen, and 1 atom of oxygen. Ganon! Now, we have number 5, lecithin. Wait kita muna. Nag-isa ko dito sa tagsaon, guys. Really, I love it. Okay, we have lecithin. Okay, the formula of lecithin is C35H66. Wow. NO7P. Wow. Okay, so 35 atoms of carbon, 66 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of nitrogen, 7 atoms of oxygen, and 1 atom of phosphorus. Nasa si phosphorus. Nakakaloka. Okay, now, lecithin function, guys, you know, it's really for the moving of the fats. Movement of the fats. So if this have a function like this, so it can also controls your cholesterol level or lowers your cholesterol level because this cholesterol is somewhat like a fat, meaning under in the lipid family, right? Lipid as a macromolecule, the building block of lipid are fats, or fatty acids in the glycerol. Okay, then these fats are the majority components of your cholesterol. It will really maintain the integrity, solidity, and flexibility of the vital organs cell membranes. If that is the case also, this can lower your cholesterol level. So that's why some medicines are fortified with lecithin. If you can check the syrup like that, the tablets, whatever, try to look at the nutritional facts, ingredients, compositions like that. You can see that there. Then maybe sometimes it is not written in a word, but sometimes written only in a chemical formula. Sometimes you cannot interpret, right? But most of the times it's written in word. Okay? But sometimes also written in both. There's a word lecithin and there's also a word, chemical formula. Okay, like that. I think both because the people are not very good in science. Sorry to tell you, the general public don't know about chemicals that much. Okay, that's why we need to introduce the term. Except to those who are science-related profession, that they can easily detect, oh, it's going to be like this, like that, like this, okay? But how about the others who are taking up College of Arts and Sciences, finance, accountancy? They are more on numbers and math, money, okay? So they are not taking more on the science. How can they understand the chemical formulation of the medicines? Right? So only science professionals, the medical students, the engineer, the chemical engineers, the chemists, the pharmacists, the doctors, the physical therapists, the occupational therapists, the dentists, like that, the neurologists, the pathologists, like that, or scientists, chemists. These are the group of people that can really interpret substances. Okay, so how can they understand very well? That's why the manufacturers, it's really their guidelines to put word and at the same time close and open parentheses the chemical formulas reflected in the packaging of the particular medicinal products or pharmaceutical products or whatever. Right? Any questions so far? Nothing, right? Okay, that's for the lecithin. Okay, that's the function of lecithin. Very good, right? Okay, lowers the cholesterol level. Oh my gosh. So if the cholesterol level, so there's no chance of heart attack. Oh, there's no hypertension. So, oh my gosh, I really need to take lecithin. Oh, diba? Ganon! Okay, but you know, lecithin also can be both directly had and food supplements, like that. But we can also manufacture that inside our body, something like that, chemical reactions naturally. But you know, if you try to have more, then buy na lang siya. Okay, to make it short. So that is expensive. Lecithin, medicinal products, capsules or whatever, mga supplements ba, food supplements like that. I'm not telling you to advise you to do this, but if you think you are really, really sure, then you need to buy. Because I'm not also into it. Okay, I am a person that doesn't rely with, artificial, intake. Okay, I don't have vitamins, I don't have multivitamins. Okay, so I am relying on the natural. Okay, fruits, vegetables, and then I select the right kind of food, exercise, like that. Okay? I never take vitamins. Okay? Now, even though I am very, very old, maybe my parents putting vitamins inside me when I was still an infant, but I'm telling you, from a kid until now, I don't have really have multivitamins intake to be. Another reason, that's the main reason, we belong to the poor family. Secondary na lang siyang, because I don't like that. Because we belong to the poor family, my parents cannot afford multivitamins or vitamins because it's expensive. That's why we rely only to the, to the natural way of doing that, ganon, to cure ourselves, tumakinalaan or whatever. Okay, because it costs a lot. Even though practice na siya na ako, it become a culture until I grow up. Okay, that's why I'm not relying with multivitamins and vitamins or food supplements. Okay, so I'm just having there the normal, the biogesic, like that, or whatever, the medical or whatever. Okay, so thanks to God, right? So I don't feel wrong. I don't feel pain or any types of diseases at this age. Okay, because at this age of mine, so many people are not taking multivitamins. Really, even younger than me. They take already multivitamins, vitamins, and everything to fortify to their system. Okay, maybe they're also very lazy to do the exercise or whatever, or they're very, very lazy to choose the right kind of food to eat, something, and they cannot control also. Maybe they love chocolates, junk foods, and these things are very deadly to us when we reach the age of 60 years old, 70 years old, like that. We must look for the future, okay, not only for the present, with regards to the health, okay, because if you have the sons of your daughters, then you cannot still enjoy with them if you die at an early stage. Okay, health is wealth, so you should, okay, you know what I mean. But if you can really maintain vitamins, that's good also, because that is your lifestyle. We cannot stop that anymore because that's also good, right? If you have enough money to do that. Ang ako ang lang if I don't have a job anymore, I cannot maintain that anymore also. Okay? So that's why I don't need to have adaptive immunity to that. Aside from, aside from the artificial way of doing that, meaning anything that you feed into your system is already artificial, meaning man-made. It doesn't mean the how it is being formulated. For example, all natural chemical reactions synthesized in our body, these are all natural. All outside that will be going to your mouth, even that is organic or not, that is all artificial. Meaning to say, you buy that in the market, okay? Or you prepare something to put that in your mouth, something. That's artificial, okay? So what I mean here is the processes involved. Not the composition, because we have also organic and inorganic and the natural food. So it's another story that's based on composition. In English, how they can qualify the natural and artificial way of saying. But in here, in my standard of saying, this is a process. Okay, if we talk about process, the natural and artificial, there is this. All substances you put into your mouth, okay, or any parts of your body, are all artificial already, because it is not the natural process of chemical reaction inside our body. What I mean of natural is chemical reactions inside our body that produces those vitamins, nutrients, like that, minerals, or whatever. Not necessarily you will put into your mouth. Okay? Then, if you put that into your mouth, then they do their job through process. That's also natural, because they are doing the natural, they produce. But what I mean, you cannot get that outside. Okay? So anything outside is artificial. Inside is natural. Okay? Lumakalimot, di ba? Because of the reference. Okay, for example, I have here the exocrine gland. So there are so many types of exocrine, substances. Saliva, tears, sweat, mucous membrane, like that, or another secreted juices. So these are examples that will be produced by our exocrine glands. Some are sweat glands, lacrimal gland, mammary gland, salivary gland, like that. Okay, you got the point. Then that's what we call. So this is really external. Okay, you got the point. Ana siya mga palaga kung hitad. Now, so there are a lot of chemicals also na natural yun sa atong system, ha? Sama ng alcohol. Alcohol, even though you will not drink alcohol, there is alcohol inside our body. Okay, through chemical reactions. Again, it doesn't need to drink alcohol that much because we have already alcohol in our system. Okay? Because alcohol also is very important for our health. Okay? Now, if you drink too much alcohol, you will add more alcohol na because you have the level already of alcohol inside your body, which is natural. So that's why malipong mo, mahubog mo, eh sobra naman siya na nagulong may alcohol na sa inyong lawas. Okay? Naturally. Okay? So that's the technical explanation there. Okay? Any questions so far? Right? Okay. Now, if we need also to understand it, for example, if you are really a palahubog or palainom or whatever, I'm not discouraging palahubog or palainom or drinking alcohol. I'm saying the fact. Okay, whether it is you are palahubog or not. Okay, you get the point. Now, for example, if you drink alcoholic beverage and you have the pollutant, right? Okay, so pollutant usually meat, right? So there's an amine there, amine compound. So the amine compound will neutralize the alcoholic content that you gain. That's why it will help to reduce sa inyong hubog or kanang marmotama, dugay, because the meat have amine. It will reduce and inhibit the alcoholic strength of the beer. Okay, that's the science explanation there. It's not the soft drinks. Okay? It is the amine. Okay? It is the amine. It's not in fact the init na noodles or bulalo. It's not. Diba? When you do the inom-inom, after that you will take noodles, painitan yung tiyan or whatever, bulalo or whatever. It's not that, bulalo can be because it's meat. Okay? What I mean, it's not really that other. Because you know, there's an amine compound of meat that helps to inhibit the strength of the alcoholic content, which is the ethyl alcohol percentage in that particular beer, whiskey, like that. So there's an ethanol percentage there. It will become a little bit reduced when you have the meat. When you eat the meat, and that's the pollutant you have, right? Like that. Okay? Taas mag-amin ang meat. Amin meaning nitrogen and hydrogen combination. Okay? 1 atom of nitrogen and 2 atoms of hydrogen, NH2. NH3, that is 1 atom of nitrogen, 3 atoms of, but that is not an amine, that is an ammonia. Okay? Like that. That's why ammonia have nitrogen because of amine also when you urine. The presence of nitrogen will still be there. Okay, you got the point. So that's why you have urea, which is CH4N2O. This is urea. And then later, it will be also converted to uric acid, something like that. And then there's also hydrogen there and nitrogen there. Right? So the formula is C5H4N4O3. But this uric acid will be bad to your health. Okay, because it will penetrate to your joints, in the bones, ligaments, like cartilages, parts of the bones, and then it will create sometimes the paining of the bones and the joints. It will lead to arthritis, like that. Okay, or mga varicose. Okay, because due to excess of your uric acid that you can find also in eating meat. I told you, eating meat. Because meat have amine. It can be explained by science, right? You get the point. Okay, and due to the nitrogen. Okay, and plus the preservatives, nitrates, somewhat, if that meat is processed. Okay lang siya kung yung gipulutan, gipalit ang dito sa merkado niya, yung gihugasan, you do the, guys, bulalo by your own, and you do also the sinigang, baboy, something like a sinigang. It's okay, but what if your pollutant is corned beef in can? Okay, your pollutant is hot dog in the plastic that's processed food already. So you add more nitrogen apart from the amine, which is coming from nitrites. And later on, it will be converted to nitrosamine, which is carcinogenic substances that can cause cancer later on. Okay. Then the effect will be cancer of the liver, cirrhosis. Okay? Like that. You get the point? Because the liver will filter the toxins. They cannot filter well anymore because they are inhibited by the damage of the cell. Okay. Once the cell will be damaged because due to the mismatch of the DNA. Okay, that's the requirement technically. So if your cell will be damaged due to the fact that this nitrogenous or nucleotides are not perfectly matching with each other, mo na magkasakita. That's really the root cause why we get sick. Because our DNA nucleotide bases are not pairing perfectly. So, for example, okay, highly technical, right? Adenine and guanine should pair. Okay, ganon. And then thymine and alanine, will also pair. You get the point? You get the point? Ganon siya, guys. So, careful dito sa atong, no. So, alam mo na siya, guys, ang DNA. CG, universe na ninyo. CG, ganon, and TA. CG, cytosine, and this is guanine. Cytosine and guanine, in our DNA, in our genes, must pair. They will never react to another nucleotides because if that is the case, the cell will be damaged. Okay, now, this thymine, okay, and the adenine will pair. So if something wrong with the DNA sequencing, not matching each other, so they cannot produce the desired protein, okay, to make us active and energized and healthy. Okay, so if you're not healthy, because the cell will already damaged. Okay, how can you repair that? Muna ito, apply na itong mga studies sa mga eating the right kind of food, vitamin C, antioxidants, flavonoids, food rich in minerals, like that, or whatever vitamins, multivitamins, food supplements, like that, or whatever medicines you want to intake just to stop the damaging of the cells. Okay? You get the point. You're allowed to exercise and eating citrus fruits and vegetables. Okay? Mogi na siya number 1. Wala pa ganun yung mga symptoms or any diseases. Eat citrus foods and vegetables with exercise. Even though you will not eat meat daily, for example, you will only eat meat once a week, that would be okay. I'm not saying you to become a vegetarian. I'm just saying you will be more on the citrus fruits and vegetables rather than on the meat. For example, 1 week at least you will intake 2 times meat. Tuesday and Thursday, mag-meat ko ron. Okay? But not daily tool. Not every day. Because if that is the case, you are more on the meat rather than the citrus fruits and vegetables then later on. At the age of 50 years old, so many symptoms will come in your body, especially you are eating much all the time not kabush, kabsa, or whatever. Okay? You get the point? You always love chicken curry every time. So take note, of 50 years old pataas, manggawas na nakanandiha. Okay? Be careful to the right kind of food selection you eat. Even though that will be okay, but first give siya ang intake. Okay? You get the point. Kinaada ka ng nutrients sa citrus fruit and green leafy vegetables. Tanan akong ipag-discuss. All that I've discussed in my vlog are found in citrus fruits and green leafy vegetables. Okay? All kinds of hormones, proteins, name it. Because what we are depends on the intake of our substances. Okay? Like that. Nakakaloka, diba? Thank you, Lord. I'm 64 kilograms. My weight will be gonna be 64 to 65, something like that. And my blood pressure is constant. Oh, amazing! 120/80, the normal blood pressure as based on my research for adult. 120/80. Nakakaloka, diba? Oh, diba? I'm not telling you to follow me. You have also your own style in protecting your health. Okay? Ganon. Okay. Number 6, DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Wow. So the formula of deoxyribonucleic acid is C15, H31, 3 nitrogen, oxygen 13, and 2 phosphorus. See, there's still phosphorus because phosphorus is for the bone health. So see, phosphorus, very useful, right? Okay, that's why this is coming from the phosphorus from the sun. Okay, SUN. Okay, and then through the phosphorus also from adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy-giving source of our food. Like that, being a person, we need the adenosine triphosphate. So these things cannot be explained too much if you're just studying basic science. It could be explained more in biology. But not in basic biology. I think it's college. It's college biology. Because when I am in high school also, I don't remember that our teachers taught us on adenosine triphosphate. Maybe there, but I'm not paying interest because due to the young age. when we are at a young age, we are very reactive, like that. We don't too much focus on the, though I studied already, but it's not really that kind of maturity type of study. College is a maturity type of study because I need to do this, because I don't want my generation will be turned off to me. I should be a licensed chemical engineer, like that. And it should hit the target, something like that. I need to become a top-notcher, something like that. Because if I just aim to pass, maybe I will fail. So I will increase my aim. I will have a high aim. To be on the top, at least I will pass. Something like, sometimes mentality and perspective matters a lot. You should also have a very high aim and then coupled with a lot of efforts. The styles I told you in my vlogging, that's it, the styles I have. Okay? Study at home, study in transportation, study in library. 3. Okay, mag-study pa lang ako sa vehicle. Okay, inside the jeepney, when riding, going to the university, I will still study, holding my notebook, something like that, or the books. Then after that also, when sa school, study again in the classroom. And then after that, study again in the library if there are things I cannot understand. And then after that, when going to home, still study. So others will say, my life is very boring. Right? Normally they will say, but in me not. Okay, because I enjoy while doing it. Because I'll sing during weekends, something like that. With my family, we also go to the beach, like that. So bonding with my family or talking with my person, it's just the same. Only that I have the strategy, the inherent strategy of my study, that it should be comprehensive and rigid, not the conventional that you will only study because the preparation of the board exam. It's not like that. While you are still in the first year college, you study a lot na talaga siya. Okay. Grabe ko sa una, pagkakadolo ko na yung mga anak, magtuon dyan, sablay pa kayo, magtuon ako daan. Charot! Yes, ganon. Okay, then I have a separate notebook also. Personal notebooks and notes that are not taken by instructors, only by myself. I have also my separate notebooks like that, and I research like that there. And then I have also the notebooks from the teachers like that. There's an additional also. Some are not discussed in the normal classroom instruction because I need to expand back. Something like, most of my contents in my vlogging are examples I shared to you. Some of the content I did not gain this from my instructors. This is only for my initiative in studying more additional apart from the classroom instruction. Okay? So that is only if you're aiming too much high, because not also students are aiming to become a top-notcher. Okay? Even though I'm not really that magna cum laude, summa cum laude, all people have equal rights and opportunity to dream big. Because to dream is not limited to anybody else. It should be for all. Right? For example, if you dream to become a millionaire, does it limit only to the rich people or to the people who have education? No, it's not. It's for everybody, even though you don't have an education. You just aim to become rich. Right? Things like that also. Even though you are an average student, we have all equal rights to aim high. And you should not be bothered if somebody will hear. Because you are controlling your life. They are not controlling your life, and it will help a lot. You can harvest a lot at the end. Okay, at the end of the day, you will harvesting good fruit out of your efforts. Okay, so focus to yourself. You can receive advices for the betterment, and sometimes also it's either way around. Sometimes you need to reject the advice. It's two, reject and accept. It depends on you. Okay, but most of the times you need to accept the advices that it is good for you. But sometimes due to the situation, there are advices that can be rejected. Due to your type of personality, due to who you are, due to you are introvert, you are not extrovert type of person. Meaning you are a person that doesn't want to go with so many people. Because there are two types of people, the introvert and the extrovert. The extrovert people loves to be in a company with 2 or 3 persons all the time. And they will not be enjoying by themselves alone. Another type of person is they are enjoying with themselves alone, even though there's no friends. They have friends, but not really a requirement to be with them. Not a mandatory. on occasional basis only, like that for my important or related to the work, but preferably you will stay comfortably alone. That is introvert person. Meaning to say, you really want to be alone rather than going to a company, then you are happy to that. So that's introvert person. It happens that I am introvert. Okay, person, because sometimes, I don't want that they can really interrupt my interests, something like that. Because these things, guys, we have conflict of interest also are the main reason why I cannot have a steady friends. I have friends but not steady. Okay, means steady, you have to give time, that is a requirement to go there, and you will be sad if this guy is not be there with you. So for me, I don't care about that. Okay, got the point? Because it doesn't really matter. Okay, so meaning to say, you don't have commitment. Okay, so of your friends. So that is the casual and the civil friends relationship only, that you are not obliged and mandatory to be with them. Na magsuko-suko dayon or get insulted because you are not there, because itawag ka. No, for me, I don't have that attitude. Okay, like that. So it will just pass. Okay, I don't complicate things. Okay, it will just pass and focus to myself. Like that. That's why I prefer to be alone. Okay. So I also be with my family. Okay, like that, to my friends also. But what I mean, I preferably chose to be alone rather than going to so many people like that, blah blah blah. Okay, that's extrovert, always going there to enjoy. Ang imong tiil mga tol, pirmi. So those are extrovert type of persons. They cannot sleep if they cannot go to the mall. Okay, they cannot rest if they will not associate with their friends and eating kabush like that, or eating with so many nutritious food. Okay, whether you go or not, it's okay for an introvert person, and you are not liable to answer why you are not coming. Okay, so I have the right. That's why I do not come. So if that is the case, you regulated his life, or like if you are really requiring him to be there, right? Things like that. Okay, you should not control. That's why I'm telling you, introvert person is very good. Nobody controls you. Okay? For example, if you are really extroverted, they are expecting him to be there, and they will be sad, masakitan dayon, kay wakat dili, may ubos din. No, it's not. That is a scratch personality. Sorry. Okay? So it's not like that, because we as a person, we have our own perspective, character, and belief. You cannot control anybody else to be in your shoes. Okay? Because we are not the same. God created us unique. Okay? So we cannot force anybody else to be like us. That's why I'm telling you always all the time, right? When I vlog, you can listen to me and you can go away. Like that, it depends on you. If I have only 0 view, it doesn't matter as long as I love what I am doing. Things like this. I don't have to be bothered with the views also, because my only purpose is to share information in order for the younger generations to learn, something like that, because I will just be passing in this world. I can be staying for a longer time in this planet Earth. I think it should be a self-fulfillment and rewarding that while you are still young, you share also your information to anybody else. At least your intelligence, knowledge are shared. Okay, I'm teaching not to be selfish like that. You share your knowledge to anybody else for free like that. Okay, so this is my intention. In doing that, I'm very, very happy, and I don't care the views like that. If you are there, then thank you, you are there. Because to be honest with you, I think out of 10 people, only 2 people will like this topic. Because because this is purely academics, highly technical. If they listen to this, it will create savage to them, because it will sharpen their brains. The more our brains will be sharpened, the more it is tasky. Murag gisod-gisod nila lang kaugalingon. Just like sometimes, gisod-gisod mo kusang kaugalingon sa, okay? So because the brain cells job is the most sensitive and complex, then of course normally people all over the world don't want like that. Most of the times we want our body parts to enjoy except the brain. To be frank, the eyes only. But we never let our brain to enjoy, because this one type of activity is enjoying your brain cells and neurons, not the eyes. Because of the eyes only, you can watch movie, sports, politics. Because these things you are only watching, it doesn't require you to think sharply. It doesn't require your cognitive skills to retain knowledge and memorize technically, academically, factual information. It doesn't like that. But the general people is not like that. That's why I'm not really forcing anybody else to watch my vlog, because to be honest also, it looks like boring. Not really that boring, it's really boring to be honest, but due to that boring, I really love in doing it. So how can I stop if I love the things I do, right? Ganon. So you are only defeating your real joy in your heart if you try to break that one. Okay? You get the point? Ganon. Dapat, voluntary sharing of academic information. It should not be paid. Okay? Just for free. If you help others for regards to the information, ha? Okay? So, wala siya. Kung ang brain cells galing ang palihog ng lisod, yung kayo kapoy, no? Okay, something like that. Okay. Now we go to this is the DNA, right? Okay. So the DNA, what is the building block of DNA? So, meaning to say, you cannot produce this DNA if we don't have this kind of substances. What are this? So there's a lot, right? So nucleotides. What are nucleotides? Nucleotides are composed of phosphate group plus the ribose sugar or pentose sugar plus the nucleobases group linkage with amino acids. Okay, that's why we need a lot of amino acids, whether essential amino acids or non-essential amino acids, because it's needed in our DNA. Okay, in our coded genetic information. Okay, to give us the desired, microbial protein. Microbial protein are those proteins that will fight dangerous living organisms such as virus, bacteria. So these are the type of example is antibodies. Okay, like that. You get the point. So this is DNA. Number 7, RNA, ribonucleic acid. Okay. So ribo meaning coming from the word ribose. Ribose is a part of a cell that manufactures the synthesizing and the processing or making up protein. Then it will gives us energy through the chemical messengers hormone. Okay, like that. Things like that. These ribosomes coming from the ribosomes. Okay? Get the point? Anak siya. Okay, so translate ang sequence sa RNA. RNA guys is a sequence. Okay? Sequencing of the genes for the genes, and it could be coded properly, ganon, and it will be translated and produce a protein, and it will be synthesized to give us energy, to speed up our immune system effectively. Ganon. Ano siya ang RNA. So ang steps sa RNA guys, okay, sequence of RNA. RNA guys is a copy of DNA. Okay, so there will be no RNA if there's no DNA. Okay, and there's no refers also there will be no DNA if there's no RNA. Things like that are, vice versa. Okay, so the RNA guys, C to the 7, H34, and 632P2. So this is more because due to the sequencing of this messenger RNA sequence and then translated to a coded genetic information in order to produce a prescribed arrangement of amino acids to grow as a long chain, okay, and then folded into a protein. So there's a folding, meaning the proteins make a long chain and they will fold. Then then it will become a protein later on, the last. So this is protein synthesis. Okay, like that. So we're going to say RNA is responsible for transcription, coding sequences, and then translation, protein synthesis. Ganon. In which it needs our DNA. Okay, so you should have a good RNA before having an adequate level of DNA. Because requirement na siya to produce DNA. Something like that. Okay? You have to take note of the molecular weight. So the molecular weight of RNA is more, right? So it will be decomposed, so and so on. Until such time it will become DNA. Okay? So the molecular weight, guys, is our identification that it will be undergoing decomposition, synthesis, because by common sense, decomposition, it will break down to smaller molecules. So the molecular weight will become less. Okay? Also in your memorization part, you'll take note also the molecular weight. This is synthesis. This is decomposition, because from bigger molecular weight, it becomes lesser molecular weight. Something like that. Common sense. And this thing should not be taught by the instructors also. This is only your own initiative to understand by common sense directly. So there are things in life that nobody teaches you. That's only through you that make it effective in your learning and strategy. Nobody teaches you to do that. Only your own initiative, and that is called inherent and instinct. Okay, ability of a person. Okay, just like singing. Nobody teach you to do that kind of singing and then you deliver that very good. You have so many styles, and in fact, you don't have a vocal coach. You don't have a voice lesson teacher. But when you deliver the performance there, there's a lot of styling. So meaning to say, that styling coming from you, either you research that or inborn. So inborn are instinct and inherent, built in with you while you are growing up. Okay? Nobody teaches you. It just appears. Just like a magic. That's why a magical gift from God. Okay? You get the point? From the moment you born, it's automatically there. Okay? Something like that. You get the point, mga malaga kong hitan. Ganon. RNA. Okay? So, wala siya. Now, we go to glutathione. C18, S17, and all three also. Glutathione, it smother your skin, it whiten your skin, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Not only that, it is the mother of all antioxidant. Mother? Ang ilaw ng tahanan. So we need to say, have a very powerful antioxidant function. Meaning, this glutathione, the more you take this, the more it will reduce the free radicals outlet of the microorganisms to stay well, just like the vitamin C functions. Okay? Not only that, reduce the fatty liver, okay, in your system, and increase the immunofunctions in your system, and regulating also the controls of diabetes, like that, and also improves and influence the regulation of your insulin hormone. Okay? You get the point? So, grabe siya function ng glutathione. But ang ato ang nailan, makapuputi ra. Right? So, there's another benefits for that. Okay? Which is more important than mapaputi ra. Okay? You get the point? So, you will use the glutathione can be obtained through food supplements, natural reaction in our body, and also coming from the heat of the sun. Okay? The more you will be heated at the heat of the sun, you are adding glutathione to your system. And also you are adding melatonin to your system. Okay? The hormone that regulates your waking up and sleeping cycle. Okay? The more you have adequate level of melatonin, then you can sleep easily without any disturbance. If you have less melatonin hormone, then you cannot sleep easily, so you will develop insomnia. Okay? Sleeping disorder. So, you get the point. So when you sleep off the light, because if you off the light, the melatonin hormone can function properly. Rather than the lights are on, the melatonin will be reduced. Okay, so that's gonna be the situation. Aside from the fact that the lights have electromagnetic radiation, low electromagnetic radiation that will go to your eyes in the optical, no, that is optical ba guys? Occipital lobe in your brain cells. In the cerebral vortex. So in the cerebral vortex, there are 4 types of lobes. The occipital lobe in the brain cells are the eyes directly into our brain. That's why kung madamage, if you damage your eyes, there's a tendency your brain also will be damaged. Because they are connected in the occipital lobe in our cerebral vortex that having the job of sensory, detect light, okay, hearing a sound, smelling the odor. So these are the job of this area of the brain. Okay? Ganon. Sa temporal lobe, or occipital lobe, sorry. Occipital sa eyes. Okay? You get the point sa brain. Ganon! So, wala siya ang glutathione. Una ka sa melatonin, number 9. Carbon 13 and 16 and 2O2. Wow, melatonin. Okay. Melatonin is the reverse of melanin. Melanin, guys, melanin is the reverse of glutathione, sorry. Okay, so the melanin can darken your skin. Okay, glutathione can whiten your skin. So melanin hormone is more in the continent of Africa. This is due to ethnicity. Ethnicity also matters also in the genetic information where you live. For example, cold areas are more in the America, hot areas are more in the Middle East. There's also a relation to the, for the chemical reactions of different substances. That's why they are white, they are black. So it has to do something with the science of, of substances. You get the point? Gene information, ethnicity. Their race is black because by naturally, okay, they have more melanin hormone than the glutathione. So melanin kasi, it will darken your skin. It has a pigment. Okay, develop pigmentation. And the whiter people also, the America, the UK, they have higher glutathione and less melanin. Okay? Gene information according to the, where you located. Okay? Like that. And for the hot countries also, like that. That's why most of them don't proceed exercise because already hot, the sweat will just come out when they walk. But for the countries are very cold, they have to exert more so that their sweat will remove. But what happened is, these white people, they love to eat too much. Right? They know already that their continent is very cold, and then they still eat too much. And what will happen? Obesity, overweight, because some of them also don't do exercise. What I mean, by natural explanation only, na mo-affect na daan diha sa health, right? But if you are not doing the right thing pa, then how much more? That's why, most of the American people or the white people are more on obesity, like that, through sugars, diabetic, like that. Most of their, deaths coming from that, aspects because they don't have the too much hot in their area, cold. Their sweat cannot remove easily. Normally, common sense, if the environment is very cold, how can your sweat remove easily? You need to undergo more physical exercise. The heating and cooling system relationship in your body to undergo proper metabolism. But this Middle East, Asian, most are having the sun all the time. So normally, even though they will walk, their sweat will come out, even though they will not do physical exercise. So, advantage na sila daan. The people are advantaged already in terms of losing weight. Okay? But these white people, they will never do also like that thing, exposing to the sun or do exercise. That's why they are very, very big, and most of the times they will die in diabetes, heart attack, okay, like this, cases of obesity in America, UK, the white people. Aside from the lifestyle, okay, so there are a lot of causes kasi lifestyle, genetic information, natural environment, ganon. It happens sa natural environment. Natural environment, these white people are having a cold climatic region. Cold, meaning more on the cold. Then cold doesn't facilitate more on metabolism by theory. Okay, by cold, it will not break the molecules into smaller molecules because it's heating that makes the larger molecules that break the molecules to lower molecules. Meaning to say, it will produce waste products through heating. And heating driven by the sun na makapabordaan ang continent or countries that are under hot climatic condition or region in terms of obesity, like that, blah, blah, blah. Except for the food intake and food lifestyle. I'm talking only for the natural environment. Okay? That's another also factors affecting. Because there's a lot of factors affecting, and only considering the natural climatic environment. Advantage na daan ang Middle East and Asia because we are in the hot climatic condition. Then normally, our metabolism will be directly removing sweat all the time compared to the cold areas. It needs them to do something in order the sweat will remove naturally. Because cold ang environment. Di ba common sense? Okay, with the point. Ganon siya. That is only for the natural, but for other sources of food, lifestyle, that will be another reason also. Okay? Eating the right kind of food, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm trying to emphasize, since they know their country is very cold, they should not eat too much carbohydrates, sugary foods, because they know their country is not producing heat every time because cold, very cold environment. The metabolism will not process properly in a cold environment. It should be in the heating environment because metabolism will be there if there's heat. to break down larger molecules to smaller molecules to be converted into waste products. Okay, so that can be explained by science, right? Okay, going back to that's my Latin. Number 10, urea. Urea, large percentage of the urea found in urine. That's why the term speaks itself. The formula of urea is carbon, 1 atom of carbon, 4 atoms of hydrogen, 2 atoms of nitrogen, and 1 atom of oxygen. Now, be careful also with urea because urea is highly reactive to creatinine and bilirubin in your urine. So once you have higher level of creatinine and bilirubin, it causes your kidney to be damaged, kidney malfunction. That's why the doctors test this creatinine. Because this is an identification. If you have more of this, then problem. This is a bad protein that comes out in the urine. The same with the bilirubin. If bilirubin will come, take note that in your physical examination, there is bilirubin, creatinine. These are bad protein that goes out in your urine. That's why in your medical examination, there's always a test like that in your urine sample. These are the identification. Bilirubin, creatinine, and uric acid. This is to identify that your kidney is malfunctioning or not. Or you have damage in your kidney. At the same time also, it will also reflect back the liver. Okay, because this liver will coordinate with each other after filtration or detoxifying the different substances, and it will go to your gallbladder. And after going to gallbladder, it goes to the urinary tract, going down to your kidney, something like that. And after that, it will go to your renal. The renal last connected to your penis or vagina, and then it will go out the urine. Okay? Urine sample is also important. Urine, blood, and stool. Okay? That's unfortunately. That's why the doctor will always get that sample every time. But the most important is the blood. Because once the blood having bacteria, oh my gosh, so many diseases will come in, or dirty blood. Dirty blood meaning there's a lot of germs, like the pathogens, bacteria. That's what I mean of dirty blood. O diba? Ganon. Now we go to uric acid, my favorite uric acid. So, then mo yung favorite kanimo? Guys, mahilig ako magluto-luto o mga fried. As you can see in my vlogging. Okay, fried. That is the cause also of uric acid, oily foods and substances, not limited only to meat. Once you cook in oil, and then there's a tendency your uric acid will be high. Not limited only to meat, and also the lobster, the shrimp, okay, like that, and even the fish. It's not the fish that make it producing uric acid, it's the cooking oil, something like that. Okay, but fish is a good food. Okay, but nobody also eat fish in raw. That's why you need to put water. You need to cook that properly in the oil. Nobody will eat fish without any spice, right? Who cares? Nobody eat raw. Right? So how can we eat tasty food if we will not put something, ingredients? So that's the thing also, right? All we have to do is to balance the proportioning of the substances. Okay, like that. So we need to calculate pala, something like that. You got the point? More on quantitative calculations. What I mean of quantitative calculations? General. There are more, there are less. By seeing in your eyes only. Not the calculation literally that you have to compute what is the concentration, what is the density, that is not what I want to emphasize. Calculation generally by looking the appearance is more or high. So that's also quantitative assessment. Okay, the volume of this are more already, so we need to remove this, blah blah blah, so on. So I have to put less cooking oil, so ganon. So it's in your brain cells na maglaro-laro ka sa imong brain when you cook, something like that. Okay, you got the point, ganon. So in my part, guys, since I love cooking, frying galore through an oil, I choose oil that is less in saturating fats. Okay, it's in my kitchen. I will show you. Unsaturated fatty acids. Do I have to explain the formula? Why this oil is not dangerous to our health? This is, I don't want to mention the product, but if you are working here, you know that already. So this is olive oil. This is expensive, but I forced myself to buy this because I don't want to develop, any types of diseases linked with cooking oil. Okay, and uric acid. Okay, this is olive oil. So this is unsaturated fatty acids. Meaning to say, this is good for the health because normally unsaturated fatty acids such as oleic acid and linoleic acid are rich in omega-3 fats. Though they have the same formulation also with the cooking oil, or the coconut oil, or the palmitic acid. Coconut oil is a palmitic acid. Carbon and hydrogen only linking with each other. Okay? So unsaturated is good. Okay? Like that. You get the point? So oleic acid, but linoleic is the best. Acid is the olive oil. Okay? Good for the health and omega-3 fats like that. Okay? Get the point mga palaga kong hitalit. Hindi na ako mag-explain na take as an explanation anak, di ba guys? Okay. Going back, urea, manatang urea. Uric acid. So where does this uric acid came from? As I told you, most of us will eat meat. For example, chicken, dili-dili alatul, twice a day. Chicken have amine in H2 and purine also as well. So these are natural elements or compounds found in meat that we cannot remove. That we cannot remove by doing something. Even though it is by technology or what, this stick in the particle of this meat. So meaning to say, inherent or built-in substance of the meat. Now, if you keep on eating meat, you're adding more purines in your body. And purine, the formula of purine is 5 atoms of carbon, 4 atoms of nitrogen, and 4 atoms of hydrogen. Now, if you keep on eating food that have purines, not only the nitrites, but the same thing, they are fortified with nitrogen atoms, okay? So it will be converted, okay, to uric acid when it go to your urine, in your, in your kidney, like that, coming from the liver. Because the liver will do its job to filter and to detoxify first. And after filtering, detoxifying, it will go to your urine. Now, if it happens after filtration, okay, ganon, or detoxification, something natural, not artificial. Okay, so if the uric acid is very high, meaning to say you are adding more purines in your body, in the meat, or in the processed foods. So you need to lower your urine. Okay, because meat have purines and nitrates from the preservatives and also the amine. Okay, so gagamit tayo tulong na ang sources now. Nitrites, amine, and also purine. So tulong siya daan. Okay, so if you don't do something, you'll always eat. But what will happen to you if your age is already 50 years old, 55 years old? So daga na kayo, mag-isod na ka, o eliminate. So meaning to say, cure is not the best there already. Supposedly, if you know this theory and knowledge already, you need to do prevention. Because prevention is better than cure. So you will only eat canned goods once a month, twice a month. So that will be your corrective measure. Okay, I will only eat meat, I think, 1 time in a day at least, rather than 2 times a day. Or I could eat meat 3 times a week. Like that. At least not all day. So at least you have a little bit of control measure just to reduce the level of purine and the level of your nitrites and the level of your amine. So kaya mo na sila makakause of cancer converted into a carcinogenic nitrosamine chemicals you produced. Okay? So it will cause, high blood pressure, obesity, like that, blah, blah, blah. And then later it will be converted to, for the women, breast cancer, for the men, prostate cancer, and for everybody, bowel and stool cancer. And there's a lot of symptoms you will experience before having that cancer also. The pain in your stomach and everything, all kinds of symptoms. Normally, if you become a cancer, you will feel a lot of symptoms pa muna. Okay, like that, after 55 years old, 50 years old, like that, blah, blah, blah. But it is not coming immediately. Then, ganon. For example, if I am 20 years old and I'm very loving eating meat every day, it will come at 50 years old. Okay, and enjoying party, going there, okay, inom, whatever, okay, party, luto, barbecue, whatever. And after that, as the time pass, you are now 50 years old, you will feel a little bit, sakit lagi ako. So that's already, the symptoms will come in slowly, and then at such time, at that period, a lot now will come. Symptoms will be there. So that's a sign that there's an inflammation in your vital organ. Inflammation meaning the wound will come, the cyst will come, the tumor will come before it will become a cancer. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, ganon. Okay, so habang may panahon pa, at least we know. You get the point? O diba mga palaga ko mga students right now in front of me, control eating canned goods, processed foods. Okay, ganon. Trust me. Your Uncle Junjun. Okay, you get the point. Okay, now, going to the purines. By the way, guys, there are a lot of type of purines also. That is highly technical. Dito na ako dapat i-discuss what I need to discuss, diba guys? Kailangan ako i-discuss ba? Charot! Okay. We have... Charot. Okay. Ako i-discuss na talaga ako ha. Okay. Xanthine, hypoxanthine, mga ganon-ganon. Okay? You get the point. And the guanine and the adenine. Ganon ba? Yes. Hala, take note mga palangga. Kung guanine and adenine, hala. Diba, this can serve in the nucleotides in the DNA. That's why it will destroy your DNA. That's why it can cause you to become sick. Because this guanine and adenine is part of your nucleotide in the gene, right? DNA. Then this is also part of the purine that can cause also the cancer. So that's why pala, you should really put into low level your purines and eating meat because it's in there pala because this is also part of the purine, part of pairing in the DNA, the guanine and the adenine. Nakasabot mo? Kaya ang part sa urine, 4 types of purine man. First, guanine, adenine. And this guanine and adenine also is needed also there in your DNA. Right? Then if you have too much purine, your DNA there will be damaged because it's too high already. So be careful. You should not eat. Supposedly, I'm not forcing you. Supposedly, we will never eat meat every day. Ana na lang. You should not eat meat every day. Oh, sorry. Sabi makaantos, I cannot do anything because this is science. This is fact. I'm only explaining, okay, the technical information. So of the natural food we eat. So it looks like the vegetarian will win in this case. Let's say the rich, 93 years old. Madam Imelda Marcos, shout out. The mother of President Bongbong Marcos is 94 years old. She's still alive because she don't choose meat in her meals. Something like. And also the people from the past, our ancestors, like that, their lives will be more because at the time before there's not too much processed foods, right? Our lolo, our lola, like their age is very long. So, I'm very, very jealous and envy. Could I still reach that kind of age? Because in my era, in the computer age, we have the Stone Age, the Iron Age, right? If you remember also the history. Okay? Stone Age, Iron Age, until such time we are now in the computer age. In the computer age or in the computer era, a lot of processed foods introduced already. So it's very impossible for us to reach 80, 70, like so. Oh my gosh, we must do something. Right? Ganon. So, one of doing something is you will not eat meat every day. Sorry ha, gusto ko muna ako. Okay. Though, aside from the issue that meat is very expensive, and then you can control, right? You can vary that with fish, you can vary that with other food that is also good to taste, but not only meat. Okay, you get the point? But the saddest thing is there are also areas that cannot stop eating meat, especially accommodation and houses in different companies all over the world. In their employees, they're catering most of the times also meat. But I think they vary that also already. But what I mean, most of the times they will introduce meat to the employees. So problem, again, adding carcinogens to the people. Okay? Because our minds already are more on business. We are not only in the health now. So who cares about health if the business are growing? So there are people also like that. Okay? So not all the time are ideals. Other people are thinking only for profit. They are not thinking for the health of the people. So this is the main issue. Okay? They are not thinking for the welfare of the health of the people as long as they can gain profit and they don't care at all. Okay, so if we eliminate this mentality, then our people will be healthy also. Okay, apart or aside from knowing these facts. Okay, so anak siya, kaya sige mo tanaw sa kita. Gamay na kita kita at ruling ko na. So the budget for the food will be cheap, like that. So most of the times they will never choose the right food or healthy food because it depends on the budget. Things, issues like this also will be, the health of the people will be affected. Or the health of the employees will be affected because every time like this, and not nutritious anymore. Okay? And still, the feed, especially the preservatives will be there, putting inside in the refrigerator, and the more you put on the refrigerator, the more the bacteria will accumulate there. Okay? You get the point? So they are adapted also to a very cold environment. Some bacteria, especially the Clostridium botulinum bacteria for the poisoning of the food. Okay, they appear too much in the cold, like that. In refrigerating, in freezing the food that much. And there's also not preservatives there. Mag-rumble sila dito. They will be enjoying after 6 months, after, and the people will just eat that also. Because we will be deceived by the spice, by the flavoring, by the taste, but we forgot to extract the main, the main health benefits that we eat. Okay? You get the point? Lamig lang siya in taste, the flavoring, but we forgot and failed to extract the main substance of what we eat. Okay, ganon. So how can we do that? Is to learn more knowledge about health science according with the substance. Okay. Meaning to say, it's not enough to live. We should need also to do some prevention. Okay, like that. Because cure will not help a lot for us. As long as it will be engaging too much money. And then there are also times that it cannot be healed also. Okay? Get the point? It will not heal completely what I mean. You just keep on maintaining that, but have you wondered why? It will just come again. Because you are not eliminating something which is the main reason on your symptoms of your disease. You just relying on your medicines because it will just stop. But that will not stop permanently. Okay, it will come back again. So the best thing, you need to cut off one of the food that really needs to cut off so that you will not maintain already that kind of medicine because it's just the same. Every time you take, again eating like this. So it's just like useless, right? Because you cannot stop. Okay, you get the point. Kasi uric acid, mga ganon-ganon, whatever, masakit ang tiyan, mamahal natin, masakit ang tiyan. So, magbalik-balik pa siya in a month. Okay, so, you will ask yourself, do I treat myself perfectly or not? So, if yes or no, then you will go back on your control measures. I must change something. In order, I will never buy this anymore. This medicine, aside from this costly, I don't want also to suffer everything like this. And every time the symptoms will be like this to me, I will buy chocolates in order for me to enjoy. I will buy ice cream like that, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, because you know what I mean. Things like this also cannot be stopped sometimes because we are craving, but we need to have discipline. Self-discipline to the right kind of food we eat every day, healthier foods as much as possible. I'm not saying you will totally eliminate the junk foods. I'm not saying you will totally eliminate the canned goods or the processed foods or the meat. I'm just telling you to be observant to the effects and the health benefits and try only to control. Okay? So not in excess, okay, not in frequent leveling of dosage into your system, but you have to control it, okay, like that, minimize, okay, especially if you heard this already now or you researched it over the internet, not only me, because all people have also the initiative to access the information of the www, okay, it just happened that I'm a blogger, I need to share. But there are also people who are very smart to do that by themselves. Okay? You get the point? So if you do that already in the research, apply it. Okay? Because the most important is to apply and put into actions the knowledge you gain. Just like having certificates, if you train to something, quality management system, safety management system in a bush, in OL, so many credentials, but then you did not apply that in the real world. And then if somebody will ask you, what is arrest? You can even not answer well. So what's this? You have the credentials and you cannot answer. So it does mean you're at that time you're studying only how to pass, but you are not studying by heart. And seriously, that you can put that in the actions later on in your future job as a safety professional. So these things we need. It's not the so many credentials you have. The only thing we have is, even though our credentials are less, but you need to put into action and apply that wherever it is necessary. Okay, to the company you are working, by yourself to improve yourself, and to others that needs your knowledge to share it with them. And by that time, you'll be fulfilled. And salary is not an issue here. Okay? It's only about fulfillment, happiness. Because not all the time money can make completely a person happy. So salary is not an issue here. What I'm talking here is the ideality of fulfillment and happiness, not the money issue. Because even you have a very low salary, if you are satisfied and happy with what you are doing, then it's not really saying that you are forced to do that because of money, right? You get the point? So money is another thing that is more on materialistic aspect of an individual. But we're talking here of the abstract quality. For example, love, peace, joy, happiness. What else? Serenity, both mind, body, and soul. Spirituality, morals, character, like that. What else? A lot, right? Generosity, being kind. These are the abstract qualities, okay, that, shall I say, more than money. Okay. What I mean is, you will be happy permanently even though you set aside money for a moment. Okay? So, I'm not telling you also that you don't relate to the money. Money is our gasoline to do everything. But what I mean, that is temporary. Okay? Not really that permanent. Okay? Even though you have all the money in the world, but if you are sickly and you have disease, you think you can use your money properly, you are now in the hospital, and you are dying. Okay? So this is the main point, how important health science is all about. Okay? Medical science. Aside from other courses. And this is the most important part of taking a course related to medical science, health science. Because this is more on saving the lives of the people, like that. It talks about the life of the people. Because we are the key players to have the business, okay, to operate, to create a useful products to be sold in the market globally. Then if there's no asset in the business, because all of them are having a disease, how can they perform the task to produce that products they wanted to in order for them to have a profit? So we need to take care of the health of the people. Oh, if the company or the management cannot take care of your health, then you yourself take care of your health. Something like that. This is our inherent responsibility. Nobody will teach us to do this except ourselves. Okay? But what I'm trying to emphasize, if the management are really not limiting to certain one company all over the world, if the company or management concerned for the health welfare of the people, okay, so they should also assess this kind of way to take care of the welfare of the people, the health of the people. Okay, not only limiting to the company where you work all over the world. Okay? You get the point. Companies, industries, whatever, schools, anything, name it. You should consider the health welfare of the people there. Okay? So, you should pwede puro lang kwarta because money cannot make us happy permanently. Okay? You got the point. After 60 years old, you are not working. Right? What will happen to you? Okay? So that means you save while you are still young. You are saving, at the same time you are taking control of your health properly. So ganun pala, saving and taking care of your health. Both. Do it simultaneously. O, diba? Ganon. Okay, now, going back to another chemicals. Okay, glutamic acid. Oh my gosh, nakakalo. Kasi siya tulasan ng glutamic acid. Uy, okay. Glutamic acid can be a raw material to produce glutathione. Okay, glutamic acid can be helpful also in the manufacturing of noodles, salty foods like that, Ajinomoto like that, iodized salt, things like salty, because this is referring to monosodium glutamate. Okay, glutamic acid and glutamine are related with each other. You get the point? So if you're gonna be having the neutralization reaction, then normally we can produce the salt. So this is the reverse. You're adding the acid and the base, and then you produce the monosodium glutamate. Because glutamate is a salt, right? It ends in ATE. So you reverse from hydrolysis to neutralization, then you start your reaction with neutralization in order to produce a salt, in which we are using now in our spicy food in our kitchen, to make food in the restaurant. So this contains glutamate. Okay, monosodium glutamate, the noodles. So if you are just only aware, you go to the market, look at the packaging, there's always glutamate there for the salty foods. Okay, like that. Okay, got the point. So usually expressed in capital M, capital S, capital G, monosodium glutamate. Okay, so the formula of glutamate, mga palangga, kulitan is C, 5 atoms of carbon, 9 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of nitrogen, and 4 atoms of oxygen. Wow! Okay, ganon. Muna siya ang glutamic acid. Okay? Glutamic acid, guys, is an amino acid. Okay? Glutamic acid is non-essential amino acid, meaning to say it can be synthesized inside our body. Okay? Not by artificial, by not taking food, like that, blah, blah, blah. Also, okay? Natural siya. Okay? Kung essential, that food supplement, food like that. Okay? I don't have to discuss that. Okay, but later we can discuss that so far. Too far after this. Mahulot akong oras ng discussion. Nakakaloka. Okay, we have glycine. Oh, nakakaloka si glycine. Guys, glycine is an amino acid. Okay. Amino acid pa siya, guys, ha? Si glycine. Okay, see? Glycine is the simplest amino acid we have. Because you will never put anything alkyl group in the chemical formulation. You need only to put hydrogen atom in the last corner. I cannot show the reaction because my whiteboard is too much. I cannot write, right? I think I need to have a very wide whiteboard to discuss so many things, right? Okay, but I cannot do that. Okay, also glycine, guys, is the raw material in the production of glutathione. Glutathione soap. Or glutathione capsules to whiten your skin. Okay, so that is glycine. Now we have cysteine. Nakakaloka sa cysteine. Kung saan man si cysteine? Oy, si Sotero. Okay, kung saan man siya si cysteine? Si cysteine, again, amino acid. And also a raw material in producing glutathione. Both glycine and cysteine. Okay, but cysteine, guys, in the chemical formulation, adding mercapto group. Mercapto, that's what mercaptan substances. Mercapto meaning katong NH2, ganun, dash SH siya. Okay, wala naman mercapto. Okay, NH2, SH. Okay, meaning